The wine glasses were still half full, the red liquid staining the rim like lipstick, proof of the betrayal I never saw coming. I remember the moment I stepped through the door, drenched in rain, thinking I'd surprise Mark with his favorite takeout. But instead, I surprised myself, by walking straight into my worst nightmare. My husband and my best friend Lila, seated side by side at the kitchen counter, laughing, whispering, his hand tracing lazy circles on her wrist. My heart didn't just break, it disintegrated. Mark had the audacity to look surprised, but not ashamed. Lila couldn't even meet my eyes. I stood there like a ghost watching two people desecrate the life I thought I had. "It's not what it looks like," Mark said with the kind of shaky confidence only liars have. But it was exactly what it looked like. My best friend and my husband were in love, or at least in lust, and the wreckage of it was mine to carry. They didn't try to deny it. They didn't even apologize. Mark said he had felt disconnected for months. Lila said, "We didn't mean for it to happen." And I said nothing. Sometimes silence screams louder than words. I grabbed my purse and walked out of the house I had built, the marriage I had nurtured, and the friendship I had treasured. It all crumbled behind me like a slow-motion explosion. I slept on my sister's couch that night, tears soaking the throw pillow as I clutched it like a lifeline. I didn't sleep, I mourned. Not just the loss of love, but the loss of trust. The realization that everything I had believed in was a lie. For days, I didn't eat. For weeks, I didn't speak. But sometimes rock bottom isn't the end, it's the beginning of a new chapter. Before the heartbreak, I was just a woman with a dream to help others heal. For years, I'd been working on a mental wellness app called Serenity. I built it quietly, during nights Mark said he was working late. I worked on it while Lila and I drank wine on my patio, never realizing she'd stab me in the back. I created Serenity because I knew what it meant to hurt silently. But now I understood pain in a way I never had before. With nothing left to lose, I poured everything into Serenity. I coded until my fingers ached, partnered with therapists, filmed guided meditations, created forums for survivors of betrayal, trauma, anxiety. Every feature was a bandage for someone's invisible wound. And as the app grew, so did I. My pain became my power. My devastation became my drive. I spent nights staring at the ceiling, wondering why pain had chosen me as its victim. But in the silence of those nights, something stirred inside me. I started writing affirmations on post-its, sticking them to the bathroom mirror. "You are enough. This pain will pass. You will rise." They became my silent prayers. And somehow, I started to believe them. I began journaling each day. Every hurt, every doubt, every small victory. I saw patterns emerge, and then breakthroughs. I realized I wasn't just surviving, I was evolving. What I thought was an end was merely my rebirth. Serenity wasn't just an app anymore, it was my mirror, my diary, my redemption. Months passed, and Serenity started to go viral. Influencers shared their stories of healing. Therapists recommended it to patients. Downloads soared into the millions. People messaged me saying the app had stopped them from ending their lives. That they felt seen, understood, comforted. I cried reading every message. Because I knew exactly how they felt. One day, I got a call from a major tech company. They wanted to buy Serenity for $3.7 million. I thought it was a prank. But it wasn't. I signed the deal with trembling hands, not because I doubted my work, but because I never imagined this moment would come, not out of my pain. I bought myself a beautiful new home. Not a mansion. A sanctuary. Light-filled, quiet, serene, just like the app. I filled it with plants, sunlight, and books, reminders that growth is always possible. I adopted a dog, Milo, who had been abandoned too. Together, we healed. We took walks. We learned to trust again. But I didn't stop there. I used the money to create a foundation that offered therapy to women recovering from domestic abuse, betrayal, abandonment. We gave them tools, support, and hope. We gave them serenity. I started hosting monthly retreats, welcoming women who had been broken and needed safe spaces. At our first retreat, a woman named Carmen shared her story, left at the altar, battling depression, but now, a trauma coach. We cried together. Laughed. And rebuilt. Brick by emotional brick. Then, one day, fate twisted the knife in the most unexpected way. I was speaking at a wellness retreat when I saw her. Lila. My ex-best friend. She looked nothing like the polished woman who once shared secrets and spa days with me. She looked hollow. Broken. A whisper of her former self. She waited until everyone had left. Then she approached me with tears in her eyes and desperation in her voice. He left me, she said. Mark. He's with someone else now. I lost everything. I looked at her, this woman who once destroyed my world, now crushed beneath the weight of her own choices. I had two options, walk away or extend my hand. And I did the unthinkable. I hugged her. Because forgiveness isn't for the forgiven. It's for the forgiver. I didn't do it for her. I did it for me. We sat and talked. She cried. I listened. I told her about serenity. I told her about the foundation. And then I offered her help. Therapy. Healing. A job, even. She couldn't stop shaking. You do that for me, she whispered. Yes, I said, because once, you were my best friend. And I believe everyone deserves a second chance, even those who broke me. She joined the foundation under a probationary program. Over time, she bloomed. She helped develop content for women facing guilt, self-hate, and regret. Her story became one of redemption. She stood on stage at our next retreat and said, I once betrayed someone I loved. And she saved me anyway. The room wept. And that's when I realized, I hadn't just built a business. I had built a life of meaning. Of grace. Of strength. I had turned pain into purpose. And in doing so, I had become someone unbreakable. Mark eventually heard about serenity. He reached out once, asking to meet. I didn't respond. Not out of spite, but because I had moved so far beyond the need for closure, his voice couldn't reach me anymore. I'd outgrown him. Outgrown the past. And most importantly, outgrown the version of myself who needed his love to feel worthy. Sometimes I still get emails from users of Serenity. From mothers with PTSD. Teenagers with anxiety. Widowers battling grief. They all say the same thing, you saved me. But the truth is, they saved me too. My revenge wasn't millions. It was peace. And if you're reading this, broken, abandoned, betrayed, know this, you are not what was done to you. You are what you become after. Strong. Whole. And maybe, just maybe, the next chapter of your life will be the one that changes everything. Because sometimes, your heartbreak is the seed of your greatest legacy.